Hey everyone, this is Greg from Geek Cheese. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in, and thanks if you've recently subscribed, like many of you have. Truly appreciate the love and support. This is another Super Mega Baseball 4 deep dive video from the good folks at Metalhead Software. It's a pretty in-depth one. From the looks of it, gameplay and off-field deep dive. I've not watched this at all. I've been anxiously waiting. Been busy all day, so let's get right into this and see what we have in store.
Hey everyone, I'm Richard, lead gameplay engineer for Metalhead. I'm going to take you through gameplay and community requested features in Super Mega Baseball 4. Our player traits that we introduced in SMB3 received a warm welcome from fans, and we received many requests to add new additional traits. In SMB4, you will find 75 unique player traits, including all 20 that were in SMB3.
75?
Players with traits are also much more common than they were in SMB3, as the majority of players now sport one or two traits. Many of the new traits focus on making batter-pitcher matchups more dynamic. You will need to approach each at-bat more carefully to leverage your player's traits and to not fall prey to the opposing player's specialty. While the expanded lot of player traits helps make players more unique, teams in Super Mega Baseball have always been essentially the sum of their players. We thought, is there a way we can deepen franchise mode and the new shuffle draft mode to add another access to the equation when constructing your roster? This led us to our new team chemistry mechanic. Team chemistry sees the makeup of your roster affect the potency of your player's traits. Here's how it works. Every player in SMB4 is one of 5 different chemistry types, such as spirited, crafty, and let's not forget about everyone's favorite overdog and his competitive chemistry type. Every trait in SMB4 is also assigned to one of these 5 chemistry types. For example, RBI Hero is a spirited trait, while the new Sign Stealer trait is crafty.
Okay.
If you have at least 3 players on your team of a given chemistry type, then
I just noticed something. Oh man, I just noticed something beautiful. Oh man. Do we want to do this? Do we want to just go right through it? Let's just go through this. The banging on the trash can for sign stealing was incredible. What an incredible troll job. So freaking great. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, good job, Metalhead Software. I freaking love this game.
all traits of that chemistry type are boosted from a small benefit to a medium benefit, or reduced from a large penalty to a medium penalty for negative traits. Having at least 7 players on your team with the same chemistry type boosts the traits of that chemistry type even further from a medium benefit to a major benefit. For example, having 7 or more spirited players on your roster means that the spirited RBI Hero trait provides the maximum boost to any players that have that trait, even players that are not spirited themselves. Team chemistry presents new considerations when signing and releasing players in franchise mode, and deepens the strategy when it comes to selecting players in shuffle draft. Speaking of franchise mode, people did not like how players randomly left their team for free agency at the start of the offseason. For SMB4, we wanted to add some more control over when players stayed or left your team at the end of the season, but still maintain some of the variability that makes each franchise playthrough special. So, we added a new player re-signing feature. Each rostered player in franchise mode now has a loyalty attribute that represents how loyal the player is to the team. Throughout the regular season, you'll be presented with new manager moments. Each moment presents a decision that will affect 1 or 2 players' loyalty. Once you arrive at the end of the season, there's a new player re-signing phase. Every player on your team will present to you their asking salary for next season. Players with higher loyalty will ask for lower salaries relative to their abilities, while players with lower loyalty will ask for higher salaries. You can choose to re-sign the player at their asking salary, guaranteeing that they stay with your team, or you can offer to re-sign the player at their current salary. However, a player may reject this offer and become a free agent. The larger the discrepancy between their current and asking salary, the more likely they are to reject it. You can also outright release players, freeing up salary that you can put towards re-signing your star players at their asking salary. In addition to player re-signing, we have also added many new player development opportunities and more random age-driven events to franchise mode. Some PDOs present a chance for position players to upgrade or downgrade their secondary position, while other PDOs allow pitchers to learn new pitch types.
That's cool.
Random events can see pitchers lose a pitch type, and players can even randomly pick up or lose traits during these events. Finally, you can choose to have players from other leagues, including built-in leagues or custom leagues, appear as free agents during the franchise playthrough.
Oh,
For
that's
example,
cool.
you can play a custom franchise with a league you created, but have Super Mega League and or Legends League players, instead of randomly generated players, appear as free agents from season to season. While free agents and player movement enhance customization within a single league, we asked ourselves, can we create a fun and replayable way to create mashup leagues to combine the familiar Super Mega League players, the new Legends League players of real-life retired players, custom players, or any combination thereof? Our new Shuffle Draft mode allows you and your friends to do just that.
This is the mode that I'm the most interested, or I guess this is the feature I'm most interested in, and how this is going to work and how this is going to be implemented. So I'm taking a deep breath here because I want this to be kind of what a lot of other SMB fans want it to be. So let's see.
In Shuffle Draft, you choose a league of teams to participate in the draft. All teams' rosters will be cleared. Then, choose which players to include in the draft pool, and select which teams to control in the draft. In each round, you're presented with a choice of up to 8 players drawn semi-randomly. Star players tend to appear early in the draft, while role players appear later when rosters start to take shape. While a traditional fantasy draft allows you to select from the entire player pool each round, there's a trade-off between agency over your roster and variance in the outcomes over multiple drafts. Traditional drafts tend to see similar rosters between playthroughs and tend to lose interest.
There's a lot of names flying through here. I'll get back to it, but there's a lot of names. There's a lot to unpack here.
After a few times through. However, in Shuffle Draft, no two teams will ever come out the same, and it is a great starting point to jump into many of SMB4's other game modes. Plan to play SMB4 for an hour or two with a friend? Jump into a Shuffle Draft, then go straight into an exhibition game or elimination series between your 2 drafted teams.
Fans are flocking to their seats here at Sakura Hill.
Want to mix up the Super Mega League rosters before starting a season or franchise playthrough? Shuffle Draft has you covered. My favorite way to Shuffle Draft is within online leagues. Leagues can be configured to have a one-time draft or to have a new draft at the start of every season. Drafts are done asynchronously. There is no need to coordinate a draft time with a big group of friends. You can even join the league late, draft your team, and jump right into the season in progress. Super Mega Baseball has always featured small rosters. SMB3 rosters were made up of exactly 13 position players and 8 pitchers. This is so that every player on your roster matters. Just one weak link on the team can be detrimental to a championship run. However, we know that the small pitching staff could be difficult to navigate at times, especially after your star reliever took a comebacker to the face. SMB4's rosters include 1 extra slot for a total of 22 players, and the number of each type of player is no longer restricted. Most Super Mega League teams roster a 9th pitcher, though the pitching-heavy Moonstars have added first baseman Testosterone. In addition, pitchers can now play in the field and position players can be sent out to pitch. But good luck having success with that.
That's pretty cool, actually.
We've also expanded league
Position player
customization
pitching.
to include a new free agents pool. These free agents can be customized just like the rostered players and appear by default in franchise mode before randomly generated players are available to be signed.
Okay.
In custom leagues, you can easily move players in and out of the free agents pool using the new player movement feature. This allows one-for-one swaps between 2 teams or between a team and the free agents list. Lastly, let's talk about changes to gameplay on the field. The scaling of our players has changed to allow for more room on the field. We've also improved the on-field cameras to enhance some gameplay, like our new line drive camera to help you judge whether to jump or not, and our new pitching and batting camera angles. You may have seen our updated UI in our presentation deep dive, and that shows up here with new fielder input UI. SMB4 is very much still a baseball simulation with an arcade presentation. While the presentation has changed with all new character art, animations, and new stadiums, the core batting, pitching, base running, and fielding mechanics will be very familiar.
That's good.
With that said, the new player traits do bring additional variety and considerations to batter-pitcher matchups. We've also added automatic intentional walks and the option to place an automatic runner at second base in extra innings of non-playoff games.
That's okay. That's interesting.
And there you have it. Tons of exciting stuff in SMB4 that we can't wait for you to get your hands on. Thanks for watching.
All right, so there's a whole lot to go through. So I'm gonna go through this again. There's a lot here. there's a whole lot. That's a new field too. Now that I have this paused at this specific spot, I don't remember what that field. That looks like the Cornhusker field or something like that. All right, there's so much going on here. Um, Man, I kind of wish this was two videos in one, but let's or two videos rather than one. So let's try to wrap our minds around all of this. So here we go.
I'm going to take you through gameplay and community requested features.
All right, so first, right off the bat, this is one of the new fields. I don't know what field this is. It looks like one of the new fields. I already see some new advertisers. You have So Crates up there as a new advertiser. That's pretty funny. So that's pretty interesting.
In Super Mega Baseball 4.
All right.
Our player traits that we introduced in SMB3 received a warm welcome from fans, and we received many requests to add new additional traits.
So the additional traits,
In SMB4, you will
this.
find 75 unique player traits.
75 unique player traits is pretty freaking crazy, and it does sound like,
Including all 20 that were in SMB3. Players with traits are also much more common than they were in SMB3, as the majority of players...
I like that because there are some players that you get randomly in SMB3 that just don't have anything, and it's like, I don't want to... So the way I like to play it is that whatever is on the team is on the team, and then I'll just kind of, whatever's there is there. And it is kind of lopsided sometimes when some of the teams have like guys that are amazing, have like 2 traits, and then other guys don't. You get teams where teams have like a bunch of guys with traits, and other teams have maybe just the pitchers. So I like that there's more there's more variety, and that there's also more chance that your guys will have those traits.
Players now sport 1 or 2 traits. Many of the new traits focus on making batter-pitcher matchups more dynamic. You will need...
All right, so fastball hitter. Here's some of the ones. Fastball hitter. Swing power and contact improvements. Okay. Minor effect, major effect, huge effect. I guess that's... So the effects are driven by team chemistry.
You need to approach each at-bat more carefully to leverage your player's traits and to not...
All right, let's go back to that real quick because there are some more of the traits that they're talking about. All right, so we got Dive Wizard. That's okay. So there's not only pitching and hitting, but also okay. So interesting. Dive Wizard, Rally Starter, consistent, off-speed pitch, volatile, magic hand. So it seems like there are things that can build your players up in the box, on the mound, or also in the field, and that's kind of cool. I kind of like that because that lets you, that lets the players be a little more well-rounded. So I like that.
Matchups more dynamic. You will need to approach each at-bat more carefully to leverage your player's traits and to not fall prey to the opposing player's specialty. While the expanded lot of player traits helps make players more unique, teams in Super Mega Baseball have always been essentially the sum of their players.
I'm just seeing, so this looks like the Jacks team, and I'm just seeing if there's any names on here that are standing out now.
We thought, is there a way we can deepen franchise mode and the new shuffle draft mode to add another access to the equation when constructing your roster? This led us to our new team chemistry mechanic. Team chemistry sees the makeup of your roster affect the potency of your player's traits. Here's how it works. Every player in SMB4 is one of 5 different chemistry types, such as spirited, crafty, and let's not forget about everyone's favorite overdog and his competitive chemistry type.
Okay, so there's spirited, crafty. They kind of just pop through those real quick.
Some chemistry types, such as spirited, crafty, and let's not forget about everyone's favorite overdog and his competitive chemistry type.
All right, disciplined and there's dig F order. Disciplined and competitive. So then, and the colors correspond to the colors of your player traits correspond to the chemistry effects. I also just realized the chemistry effects are actual chemistry symbols, like from chemistry class in high school. Like when you're building like what CO2 looks like, or NaCl, like that kind of stuff.
Every trait in SMB4 is also assigned to one of these 5 chemistry types. For example, RBI Hero is a spirited trait, while the new Sign Stealer trait is crafty.
That is freaking hilarious. Okay. the banging on the trash can. I wonder if that actually is in the game or if that is just them throwing that in there. That would be hilarious if like once I'm curious because if that's in the game and like that's how you know your trait is activated, one, that's super helpful. Um, but also just that sign stealer and the bang on the trash can, Astros, hilarious. That's freaking hilarious. I love that.
If you have at least 3 players on your team of a given chemistry type, then all traits of that chemistry type are boosted from a small benefit to a medium benefit, or reduced from a large penalty to a medium penalty for negative traits. Having at least 7 players
For negative traits, so there are some negative base. Oh yeah, like caught stealing, that kind of stuff. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, negative traits. I like Butterfingers, surrounded. That's interesting. First pitch prayer. That's okay. So there's bad ball hitter, ace exterminator. Okay, these are some pretty cool ass traits. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this.
on your team with the same chemistry type boost the traits of that chemistry type.
That's so okay. I'm just this is very interesting in constructing a roster for franchise mode. They're right. It does make me think of things a little bit differently. Um, it's interesting too that some of your folks will have, you know, their chemistry type might not necessarily match their traits, but it's all about building the team. It's all about getting those numbers of players and allowing the yeah. So that's it. So you can really it changes things. It changes things. It's like deck building in Magic the Gathering. Like you're looking for the right number of combos, um, X number of land cards or whatever red cards, blue. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's interesting.
Even further
And I
from
like
a
it.
medium benefit to a major benefit. For example, having 7 or more spirited players on your roster means that the spirited RBI hero trait provides the maximum boost to any players that have that trait.
So yeah, so that's the real benefit is because you're gonna be looking for any of these to boost and to maximize the traits as much as possible. So yeah, you could in signing your free agents and stuff, you really want to think about that. That is a very interesting and kind of unique way of devising and developing this new mode. I like
Even
it.
players
I
that
like
are not
this a lot.
spirited themselves. Team chemistry presents new considerations when signing and releasing players in franchise mode,
Yes.
and deepens the strategy when it comes to selecting players in shuffle draft. Speaking of franchise mode, people did not like how players randomly left their team for free agency at the start of the offseason.
Yeah, I
First
was
and
one of
before,
those probably.
we wanted to add some more control over when players stayed or left your team at the end
like
of the season,
this.
but
I do
still
like this a
maintain
lot.
some of the variability that makes each franchise playthrough special. So, we added a new player re-signing feature. Each rostered player in franchise mode now has
Yeah,
a loyalty
okay.
attribute that represents how loyal the player is to the team. Throughout the regular
I like this a
regular
lot.
season,
I'm just
you'll be
gonna keep it
presented
playing.
with
But
new
I like
manager
this.
moments.
I like this a lot.
Each moment presents a decision that will
All right, here's manager moment. This is cool because that is the one thing that was always tough is, like you got a person who leaves the team randomly and then they want to they leave the team randomly and then all of a sudden they want like $18 million and your budget's like 20. It did make building a team difficult, building a competitive team difficult, I guess. Especially if you're just going out there with like random you're building your own team and you're just like doing random things. So manager moments are interesting. A couple of players are feeling blue about not seeing action today. But you feel very full bladder and need to excuse yourself. Who do you not have time to comfort? So that's interesting. So these are like it's almost like a little you got to choose. This could be a way to choose who you want to build your team around too, like who you're going to put more time and effort into developing
affect
that
one or
relationship.
two players' loyalty. Once you arrive at the end of the season, there's a new player re-signing phase. Every player on your team will present to you their asking salary for next season. Players with higher loyalty will ask for
So every player will ask for their signing thing though. So see up in the corner here. So we have like this is your team budget. This is the budget for training and all that kind of stuff. So every player. So you're gonna have to do this at the end of every every season then. So that's interesting. That's interesting. It would have been cool to have multi-year kind of deal things in there, but uh, but this isn't bad. No, this isn't bad. Resign interest. So yeah, so you're gonna want to change the people ambivalent. I love that. This is a very intriguing little way of doing it.
Lower salaries relative to their abilities, while players with lower loyalty will ask for higher salaries.
Yeah.
You can choose to re-sign the player at their asking salary, guaranteeing that they stay with your team, or you can offer to re-sign the player at their current salary. However, a player may reject this offer and become a free agent. The larger the discrepancy between their current and asking salary, the more likely they are to reject it.
Okay.
You can also outright release players, freeing up salary that you can put towards re-signing your star players at their asking salary. In addition to player re-signing, we've also added many new player development opportunities and more random age-driven events to franchise mode.
I like the age-driven events a lot.
Some PDOs present a chance for position players to upgrade or downgrade their secondary position, while other PDOs allow pitchers to learn new pitch types.
I like learning new pitch types.
Random events can see pitchers lose a pitch type, and players can even randomly pick up or lose.
And the age banded like kind of stuff. I like that too. I really like that. I think if they have it, if it's a little more age banded, I think that makes it I don't know, kind of probably evens things out as you go in your franchise.
Traits during these events. Finally, you can choose to have players from other leagues, including built-in leagues or custom leagues, appear as free agents during the franchise playthrough. For example, you can play a custom franchise with a league you created, but have Super Mega League and or Legends League players, instead of randomly generated players, appear as free agents from season to season.
Let's talk about that Jose Bautista hairline right there. I mean, that doesn't seem very kind to Joey Bats, but nonetheless, I do like that you can have the option to pepper in some of these guys down as part of a draft or as part of like free agents down the line. I like that. I think that's an interesting way to infuse your custom leagues with some of the whether the legends or the creators, like that's interesting. And don't know personally. I don't know if I would use it. I'm still like, I don't know if I would use the any of this stuff. I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe down the road, maybe I would think about the legends especially. But I do like that there's the option to include them as a part of the free agent pool. I like that.
While free agents and player movement enhance customization within a single league, we asked ourselves, can we create a fun and replayable way to create mashup leagues to combine the familiar Super Mega League players, the new Legends League players of real-life retired players, custom players, or any combination thereof? Our new Shuffle Draft mode allows you and your friends to do just that. In Shuffle Draft, you choose a league of teams to participate in the draft. All teams' rosters will be cleared. Then, choose which players to include in the draft pool, and select which teams to control in the draft. In each round, you're presented with a choice of up to 8 players drawn semi-randomly.
All right, so this is interesting. I kind of want to go through this a little bit because there's some things that I noticed my first watch through that I'm seeing. So Shuffle Draft itself is a gameplay mode. I think later in the video they talk about how this can be used within some of the other modes. That's the part I'm a little more interested in. But right off the bat, gonna say, look at, there is Nolan Ryan right there. That's pretty cool. Freaking Nolan Ryan. He's an A-rated player, of course. There's Draftnik Mark. That's one of the creators. Okay. I thought there were some other...
Star players tend to appear early in the draft, while role players appear later when rosters start to take...
Bartolo Colon, I love it. I love Bartolo Colon. And it looks like... Oh no, Eddie Matthews is there. That's cool. Eddie Matthews is there. That's pretty cool.
shape. While a traditional fantasy draft allows you to
Juan Marichal, Bartolo Colon's there again. Bob Feller, Eric Davis. Okay, there's some names. There's some names here.
select from the entire player pool each round, there's a trade-off between agency over your roster.
Roy Oswald, that was the name that kind of stuck out to me, and Jason Kendall. Those are two names. I wanted to make sure I kind of paused it somewhere, but those are two names that kind of stuck out to me before too.
And variance in the outcomes over multiple drafts. Traditional drafts tend to see similar rosters between playthroughs and tend
Jack Clark, Javi Lopez, there's Jeff
to
Nelson,
lose interest after a few times through.
JJ Putz, Derek Lowe, Brandon Webb. Look at some of these names.
However, in Shuffle Draft, no two teams will ever come out the same, and it is a great starting point to jump into many of SMB4's other game modes. Plan to play SMB4 for an hour or two with a friend? Jump into a Shuffle Draft, then go straight into an exhibition game or elimination series between your two drafted teams.
Okay, that right there is winner, winner, chicken dinner. So, and I'll explain why. So, enter Shuffle Draft, right? So I have my pool of created teams. Speaking Cheese League right now, this is for any fans of the Cheese League that I got running on YouTube right now. So my goal for the end of the Cheese League was to obviously switch things up. I didn't want to run out the same teams, the same players, all that kind of stuff. What I planned to do at the end of everything was to have the teams, and I was going to manually take the teams, shuffle their rosters manually again. Actually, when I say manually, I was literally going to be rolling dice for this. I built like a little system for myself of how to roll dice to come up with outcomes and all that kind of stuff. So I was going to manually do that and shift around the rosters just to add some variety and make it interesting for the next round. And I was going to kind of keep doing that just so we didn't have the same, because I've done other tournaments and other leagues and other seasons and stuff that I've simmed before just for my own, whatever. And it ends up always being the same several teams just because because I create the teams based on randomization. Everything, like who you're stuck with is who you're stuck with. And I didn't want that to kind of be like a perpetual thing where, the team always gets eliminated the first round of the tournament, that kind of stuff. So what they're saying right here is that I can enter a shuffle draft. I can shuffle draft those teams or those players, and then redo the elimination tournament, which is excellent. Now, the one thing I would have to get in there and see is how to handle, which again might be like some manual manipulation, but how to handle players that I want to retire based on their in-game age, like that kind of stuff. It's probably still going to have to be some customization for me, but nonetheless, that's good. I was curious how that was going to work. I was curious how, sounds like Shuffle Draft can be done across all these play styles. At first, I thought Shuffle Draft was just its own separate thing, and it didn't have anything to do with these other modes, but it sounds like it's definitely what I was thinking initially.
Fans are flocking to their seats here at Sakura Hill.
Want to mix up the Super Mega League rosters before starting a season or franchise playthrough? Shuffle Draft has you covered.
Season, franchise, yep.
My favorite way to shuffle draft is within online leagues. Leagues can be configured to have a one-time draft or to have a new draft at the start of every season. Drafts are done asynchronously. There is no need to coordinate a draft time with a big group of friends. You can even join the league late, draft your team, and jump right into the season in progress. Super Mega Baseball has always featured small rosters. SMB3 rosters were made up of exactly 13 position players and 8 pitchers. This is so that every player on your roster matters. Just one weak link on the team.
Yeah, this is okay. This is I do like that they added more player spots, and I do like that they also, so they added an extra player spot, and then there's also it's not restricted. So you can add in, if you wanted to add another big bat, you could add another big bat. If you want to add another pitcher, you can add another pitcher. I like that as well. I wanted to, there's one other the free agents. Yeah, what was this about? I think this might have been.
Free agents pool.
Yeah, let me look at this free agents pool because it's kind of interesting.
Play in the field, and position players can be sent out to pitch. But good luck having success with that.
Position players pitching is freaking hilarious.
We've also expanded league customization to include a new free agents pool. These free agents can be customized just like the rostered players and appear by default in franchise mode before randomly generated players are available to be signed. In custom leagues, you can easily move players in and out of the free agents pool using the new player movement feature. This allows one-for-one swaps between two teams or between a team and the free agents list.
That's freaking trades. That is trades. He essentially said you can swap players out. So that is trades. I love the way they did this. I absolutely love the way they did this because it puts control in the creators themselves, you know, us the players, of how they want to manipulate, because there's a lot of us out there that do sim leagues. There's a lot of us out there that do playthroughs of franchises and stuff like that, seasons. And the one thing that we've always wanted to do, and that a lot of us have done manually, is swap out players and make trades in the middle of seasons and stuff. And I like this because, you know, it's always like, what, as someone who's built the league itself and wants to run it a certain way, you want control over the fairness of the league, and you want control over everything, you know, every little aspect of it. And I like this because that gives control of how to run it. It's not like, it doesn't seem like there are like random trades that are happening in the background or anything like that, that the computer, that the AI is doing, or whatever, the algorithm. It sounds like it's totally up to the player, up to how they want to play the league and how they want to control the teams. I'm not sure if this is
pool using the new player and appear by default in franchise mode before randomly generated.
So he said franchise
just like the rostered
mode.
players, and appear by default in franchise mode before randomly generated players are available to be signed. In custom leagues, you can easily move players in and out of the free agents pool using the new player movement feature.
In custom leagues, so one thing I'm not sure of, though, is this seasons? Can you do this across all? Can you do this across the season mode? Can you do it in elimination mode?
This allows one-for-one swaps between two teams or between a team and the free agents list. Lastly, let's talk about changes to gameplay on the...
All right, on-field improvements I'm not too worried about, because it looks like the camera angles and stuff that they showcased, everything like that looks really great. Yeah, everything looks great with the way they're you know, they're keeping things, you know, pretty much the same. I like the new camera angles. I like a lot of those improvements. Everything looks pretty good. You know, the controls are the same, all that kind of stuff. That's cool. I was very, very interested in the shuffle draft, how that was going to work. Very interested in how any improvements to franchise mode, the trade thing that they just covered, which they're not calling trades, but essentially it's, hey, you SMB super fans out there, you've wanted trades and you've been doing it manually. Now we kind of figured out a way for you to do it. I like that a lot. Yeah, this actually makes me a lot more excited. I was kind of cautious going into this video because, one, there's so much content here. I thought something might get buried, something might get looked over. But they did a really good job of kind of breaking down every single element, because there's a lot of elements. There's actually a lot of new things that they've added to this, that they've built onto SMB3. That's awesome. And I'm really, really... damn, actually, I like I like this clean layout, too, that they have here. So I'm really, really liking the way everything is presented here. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clean. It's definitely, I have some questions about like how some of the, especially the trade features, some of those things are going to work out once you get into the game. And it's shuffle draft going into, it is kind of odd to me. Like, if you go into shuffle draft to create teams, and then from there you go to create franchise, you have to do something in Shuffle Draft first before you do something in one of the other modes. That seems a little confusing to me, and I guess I'm gonna have to go into it and play with it a little bit and kind of get used to it. Um, but it sounds like the Shuffle Draft mode is where everything would kind of take place. Uh yeah, I'm actually I now I'm talking out loud. I am kind of confused about that. But that doesn't matter. This video's gone very, very long because I watched this pretty much 2 times through. But there's so much content here. There's so much news. One thing that all of this does, though, it does make me extremely, extremely freaking excited to play the shit out of this game, guys. This game, it looks like some of the improvements that they made, some of the things that some other SMB fans are a little annoyed with, or they're not on board with yet, like the legends or the creators and all that kind of stuff. Which, again, I'm kind of in the same boat as everyone else. We're kind of like cautious about it, and we're not sure how it's going to be implemented. But I think they did a good job here of showing how things are going to be implemented and how things are going to ultimately work for you. We got to actually see quite a bit new fields, quite a few new fields and new looks and new angles at things. So, and new player models throughout this video. So there's a lot here, and that's why it took me forever to go through it. But this is some good stuff, guys. This is some really interesting, good stuff. It makes me super excited to play this game, and yeah, we have like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days now at this point. This is exciting stuff. It's exciting times for Super Mega Baseball 4 fans. I feel like there's going to be more videos coming out. I thought they teased or told us that they would have more deep dive videos coming out, but it feels like this one was kind of compressed and thrown into, this was multiple videos that they threw into one, because it is very, very deep, and rich, and includes a lot of content. So I don't know. Either way, it's very interesting. I'm really liking it. I do wish, I hope that there's like a secret drop next week where they say, hey, we are going to allow you to import all of your SMB3 teams. That's just wishful thinking, because that would save me a shit ton of time and so many other SMB fans so much more time recreating all of our teams. So I kind of hope that they announce that last minute, and then we're all like, oh my god, this is amazing. Or maybe a home run derby mode. A lot of folks have been asking for that. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be lots of fun. Especially adding in the new legends. I think that would be lots of fun. And I think it would be fun if they did it old school home run derby style. Old school. Used to be a home run. I think it was called Home Run Challenge, where they have like Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron would be up against each other, and they play 9 innings. It's like 9 innings or something like that. And you see how many home runs you can hit in that many innings. They used to do it, it was like old black and white footage of it and stuff. You can find it somewhere. But it'd be interesting if they did it like that. That would be kind of a neat nod, especially because they're introducing legends, and that was something that was done previously. I don't know. I don't care. Home Run Derby would be fun in this game. But anyway, Home Run Derby online mode would be fun as hell. Actually, I don't do a lot of online in SMB, but I actually might do Home Run Derby online mode. That would be interesting. Again, with the new legends. I digress. I'm going to end the video here because there's a lot. I'm probably going to watch this 2-3 more times just myself, but I'll end it here for you folks. Go check it out. Super Mega Baseball 4 launches next week. Early access, if you got early access, if you paid for, I think, the Ballpark Edition or whatever. I believe it's May 30th, so it is, 4 days away. So that's really freaking cool. So we will see you guys next time. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to us here. We got Super Mega Baseball 3. We got the Cheese League happening. I think it's going to wrap up this weekend, actually. Or in the next couple of days. So in preparation for SMB4's launch. So we're just rolling right into it, man. So yeah, thanks for watching us here. Follow us again here. Like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you next time. All right, thanks.